organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, a high-stakes game of chicken. What will happen if the government shuts down?
It's homecoming week at the University of Iowa. Everything you need to know about on-campus events.
Brain exercise. We have what you can do to get your brain back in shape.
And in sports, the Hawks bring home the bacon. Highlights and analysis on the way.
All that and more on the way next.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening, I'm Megan Tickner.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. It's a high-stakes game of chicken. Every year, the federal government sits down to review a new budget. If they fail to come to an agreement, the government shuts down. And funding Obamacare is the hot topic this year. Early Sunday morning, the House voted to delay funding for Obamacare. But the Senate disagrees. If come Monday, the House and Senate don't agree, the government will shut down for the first time in 17 years. If the government does shut down, that means a furlough on some government workers, closed national parks, and a delay on passports. We'll keep up with the coverage.
The UI and Kirkwood Community College are teaming up to track the wind. The UI rents space on a broadcasting tower at Kirkwood's Cedar Rapids campus. They've installed solar panels on this tower to measure wind speeds. The energy from the sun goes through the panels and powers the tracking system. The system then records data from passing wind. The data is normally kept private, but this initiative will allow faculty and students from both schools to access the data for class projects.
You know, the data is useful for classes. The students can use it, can access, can see real things. In most cases in classes, you teach with models and synthetic data. This is the real thing.
Keokuk says mechanical engineering and geography will use the data directly in class projects.
Police are searching for suspects in 2 armed robberies over the weekend. Friday night, a robber allegedly pulled a knife and demanded money at the Sycamore Mall. The victim was returning to his car after a movie. Saturday night, police responded to another call. 2 men approached a pedestrian on Keokuk Street. One man allegedly stabbed the victim while the other took the victim's wallet. Both incidents are under investigation. If you have information, you can call Iowa City Area Crime Stoppers.
The UI kicked off homecoming week differently this year. They've celebrated with the annual Cultural Diversity Festival. UI students from around the world filled Hubbard Park to enjoy cultural, food, music, and conversation.
People from all walks of life filled Hubbard Park today to celebrate the annual Cultural Diversity Festival. The event celebrated its 23rd year of educating people about the different cultures on campus and in the surrounding areas.
There are about 158 flags adorning the fence, each representing a country that's represented here today.
Festivities included food from different cultures, music, dancing, and games. Officials stressed the importance of learning about these different cultures.
It's important to have an event like this and a million other events that celebrate diversity on campus. The university is really committed to being a rich, vibrant, diverse, inclusive, and welcoming place.
Some students believe this event allows them to announce their presence on campus.
My student group, the Native American Student Association, it's best for us to be represented because not a lot of people on campus know that Native Americans are here. And my whole theme for this year is to let the whole campus know that Native Americans are here and we're going to be here.
Although the festival was held earlier this year, Jared was pleased with the turnout and says that if the festival maintained partnership with Homecoming, they would expect to hold the event the first Sunday of Homecoming week. Tiara Simpson, Daily Iowan TV.
Well, that looks like a lot of fun. We've rounded up some of the major events happening this week, so check this out. Monday, there will be a blood drive at the Iowa Memorial Union and a boat race at the Field House.
Tuesday is Ruckus at the Rec and Casino Night. Wednesday, you can check out Sports Night. Don't miss Iowa Shout at the IMU Thursday.
And on Friday, catch some candy at the parade downtown Iowa City. Then see who gets crowned during coronation. Friday night, Third Eye Blind will rock the Pentecrest. And of course, don't miss the game Saturday in Kinnick, Hawkeyes vs. Spartans.
Stay with Daily Iowan TV throughout the week for coverage on homecoming events.
And we have Daily Iowan TV's Brianna Jett here with us for the weather forecast for this homecoming week. Brianna?
For the most part, the weather should be great for this year's homecoming week. Monday morning will be cool and brisk at 58 degrees and sunny. By the afternoon, the temperature will rise to 78 and fall to 65 in the evening. Except for Thursday, the rest of your week looks to be perfect for enjoying homecoming. Tuesday will be clear with a high of 84. Wednesday will be partly cloudy, but the temperatures will stay warm with a high of 86. The high on Thursday will sit around 82, but you might want to grab an umbrella. There will be a 40% chance of rain. Thankfully, it looks like the rain will stop in time for Friday's parade and Saturday's game. The temperatures, though, will be a bit chilly. Friday will only reach a high of 64, and Saturday will dip down to 52. Well, that's all I have for weather, so back to you guys at the desk.
When we age, our mental performance starts to decline. But what if we could stall the decline or even improve it by some years?
We have Daily Iowan TV's health reporter Muriel Kone in the studio with more information on just how we can do that.
Hey guys, I certainly do, and it's all thanks to Dr. Fred Walensky and his team of researchers who constructed a study using hundreds of participants right here in Iowa, along with a video game to get results. You either use it or lose it.
That's the bad news of brain plasticity. The good news of brain plasticity is we can do something about it.
And he did, using a game called Double Decision that forces participants to multitask.
We want you to remember two things: car or truck in the license plate and which circle had the Route 66 sign. Which is why it's called Double Decision, because we're asking you to be selective in your attention so that you'll remember whether it's a car or a truck.
But not all the nearly 700 participants played Double Decision, but the research team still saw significant results from the ones who did.
What we can say is that the computerized training that we did use gives you 1.5 to 6.5 years more improvement than crossword puzzles.
And the results also show increases in speed of processing for peripheral vision.
Then you can see the woman with the baby carriage and the dog and the guy in the wheelchair and the motorcycle, which you may not have been able to see before.
So instead of waiting for it to decline, help out your brain with a little mental workout. And guys, these computer training programs are available for you, so if you feel inclined to speed up your thinking caps, go right ahead.
Good to know. Thanks, Muriel. It was a happy Saturday for thousands of Hawkeye faithfuls that traveled to the Twin Cities over the weekend.
Our own Josh Bolander and Jordan Cabialis were there as well and have the full coverage of the Hawks' 23-7 victory over the Gophers. Guys?
Hawkeyes kicking off their Big Ten season against the Golden Gophers on Saturday. Second of 4 trophy games on the season for them, trying to keep Floyd in Iowa City. Pick this one up, second quarter. Hawkeyes already up a field goal. Jake Rudock hits Adam Cox 35 yards on 3rd and 3 deep into Gopher territory to set this up later, same drive. 3rd and goal from the 4. Rudock scrambles. He'll just keep it himself into the end zone. Another rushing touchdown for him. And the Hawkeyes up 10-0. Next Gopher drive. Philip Nelson looking, scrambles, looking, throws. Intercepted by Christian Kirksey, and you need to see this again. He manages to get his hands underneath the football before it hits the ground. Officials review. They confirm that'll lead to this 39-yard attempt by Mike Meyer, but it is no good. Bounces right off the upright, but the Gophers will have to punt on the following drive, which leads to this. Rudock to Damon Powell. And look at him go 74 yards all the way into the end zone. 2 plays, 85 yards, 40 seconds on the scoring drive, and the Hawkeyes take a 17-0 lead to half. Now, 3rd quarter, Rudock using his legs again, 22 yards into Gopher territory, and then 2 plays later, given to the workhorse himself, Mark Weisman, 18 yards here, down to the 7 to set up this 23-yard field goal attempt by Mike Meyer. This time he splits the uprights. 20-0 Hawkeyes, however, ensuing kickoff. And that's Marcus Jones breaking free 66 yards down to the Iowa 34 to set up this. Philip Nelson looking 23 yards, and he hits Derek Engel in the end zone. It's a two-score game as we go fourth quarter. Hawkeyes driving, Rudock freezing. And this is Brock Vereen, and he's just going to cut this one off and intercept it, but nothing comes of it for the Gophers, and the Hawkeyes get another field goal. So last chance for Minnesota, and James Morris with the interception, icing the game for the Hawkeyes. Here it is again. Iowa victorious 23-7. They keep Floyd 1-0 in the Big Ten. They nearly triple total offensive yardage of Minnesota. We'll send it to Josh Bolander for more post-game analysis.
Even before Jordan Cotton waited to receive the opening kickoff, before Kirk Ferentz led his 3-1 squad into their most hostile environment yet, Saturday's Floyd of Rosedale game with Minnesota was billed as a matchup that would be won between the trenches. A true test of physicality and preparation, a game that both fans, players, and coaches would certainly describe as old school. There hasn't been much talk about Iowa's offensive line in 2013. Most Iowa fans forget that their head coach specializes in coaching up the big men up front, and they've quietly responded, dominating every opponent they've seen thus far, and the case was no different in the Twin Cities on Saturday, as Mark Weisman and Damon Bullock had plenty of room to run through, again, and again, and again.
The holes out there are huge. It was great. It's great to run behind them. It's they do such a good job for us. It's awesome.
The offensive line does a great job lifting any pressure I might have on myself. And the fact is, all of us are working towards one common goal.
We want to be the most physical unit on the field, and we want to open the holes and protect the quarterback. And I think we did a great job today, but we got a long ways to go.
Perhaps the biggest surprise in Minneapolis was on the opposite side of the ball, though. The linebacking trio of James Morris, Anthony Hitchens, and Christian Kirksey are no secret to the rest of the country, but the Black and Gold's defensive front seven were the key to Iowa's fourth consecutive victory, bottling up the Gophers' notorious ground game and getting to the quarterback more times on Saturday than they did in all of 2012.
We hold ourselves to a high standard right now as a defensive unit, and we want to be perfect, and as close as perfect as we can so we can win. Defense wins championships.
What made Iowa's victory all the more impressive was the team's ability to seize the moment when they needed to, something that Minnesota failed to do all afternoon in TCF Bank, as Jerry Kill's squad failed to execute in the few times where Phil Parker's defense did lapse. As the Iowa offense seemed to capture the moment, their performance a complete one, with plenty to look forward to as the squad continues to grow.
It remains to be seen whether this year's version of the Black and Gold can erase the memories of an ugly 2012 campaign, especially considering last year's squad was 4-2 through 6 games and sitting atop the Legends division. The reality? Iowa has won 2 straight trophy games over their northern neighbors, 4 straight overall, and welcome in a struggling Michigan State squad next week to Kinnick Stadium, looking to improve to 5-1 heading into their bye week. Wrapping up post-game coverage of Iowa's 23-7 Floyd of Rosedale victory at TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm Josh Bolander, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Great sports coverage as always, and only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek into tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Read about the importance of preserving historic barns throughout the state.
Also read how Iowa City's alleys will be getting a makeover.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night, everyone.